Okay. All right. If you can see me and hear me, drop a 1 in the chat. I'm sitting here looking for the other YouTube live. Doo-doo-doo. Just give me a second here. We're going to read through the chats, make sure you guys can see me and hear me, and then we are going to read through the chat. And I know this is going to bring new hooligans in. I have no idea what the fuck we're doing, but that's totally fine with me, because the majority of you guys know what's what. And it looks like we are back up on all platforms, at least on my end. And what's up, Toy Mafia? Happy freedom. All right. See some ones on Twitch. Toy Mafia is over on YouTube, so he must be good over there. Guess we're good on Kick. See the ones over on Rumble. You hooligans are awesome. And I see everybody on the website. Looks like we are good to go. I'll drop my own one over on X and we'll see if people join me. Anyways, we're going to read through the chat really quick. See what you hooligans think about them being more worried about election shit going on in those disaster zones than actually saving the people that are still stranded there. Guess some. Cheer up. You have a penis, which means you're not a squatter. I mean, that's true, guess some. That's true. Can't be that bent out of shape, right? Here, Juicer, you can't vote in this district. Your house is at the bottom of the ocean. I wouldn't put it past these people. Are we getting more fucking buffering? Oh, no, it was just, I don't know. I think that's when we started. Breeze by you, they need to rescue these people. They do. They do. Somebody needs to do something. It's so hard to say because it's basically like you have to break the law to go save the Americans that are fucked over from Hurricane Helene. You should, like, it shouldn't even be like that. But I pissed some people off on Twitter because I mentioned that, you know, BLMers weren't allowed to burn down buildings. They weren't allowed to fight with the federal agents. They weren't allowed to throw piss bottles at the marshals, but they did anyways. They did because they believed that that was worth it. You know, it was worth it for their cause. We have Americans that are dying because of a natural disaster and people won't go help them because they're afraid of being arrested. I don't know. I don't understand how that shit works. And I know everybody wants to be like, well, Jeff, why don't you go save those people? Well, I live in fucking Michigan. If I lived nearby, I probably would. But to go drive 15 hours to go get arrested, I don't know if that's going to be worth it. Am I going to save anybody doing that? Probably not. But if I lived in the area, I would give it my all. And so I don't know. I hate seeing BLMers having more heart than patriots. But that's what it is. I mean, that's what it is. Those people set themselves on fucking fire for their beliefs, and patriots don't. Not that I want them setting themselves on fire, but people are like, oh no, I might go to jail, let's let them all die. I don't understand that. Not even a little bit. Anyways, Breeze by you, it's just the truth you're speaking. I don't know, we're having internet problems, I guess. I don't know, everything's pissing me off today. Trying to make it through the day, that's all I'm trying to do. What's up, Lifelike? Happy freedom. It's okay, we're having a shit show anyways. We just reset everything. Ghostly, I'll be there. Fuck those feds. Yeah, see, and I don't even know if they'll actually arrest people. I haven't heard of anybody actually being detained or actually being arrested. It's the fear of being arrested that is working. I mean, they don't have to arrest anybody. They're scaring everyone away by threatening to jail them. So, I mean, I don't know. Sitting here monitoring the bandwidth. If I continue to have internet problems, I'll have to reset everything, not just the damn live. I hope not. It's already going to be a long live. I didn't want it to be all this. Ghostly. See, and I'm surprised that there isn't militias. I thought as soon as they started threatening to arrest people, that aid would show up protected by militias. But I have this goofy impression that people can unite like that. Apparently not. Astro Hammer, I called the Jeff Mac reset. I mean, it's not exactly the same thing as a global reset, but you called it, Astro Hammer. Crit Kiss, too much truth today. Something's going on. That's why I hate living in the stupid apartment building. It could be anything. Somebody could be getting their internet installed, you know, and now my stuff's taking a shit. So, I don't know. At least you guys understand. I don't miss the days when everyone's like, get better internet, buy a better computer, get da-da-da-da-da. I put everything I have into this. Everything. I have the best internet. I have the best PC I could build. I put everything into this. I still get fucked sometimes, you know? That's how it goes. What's up, Lisa? Happy Freedom. Where have you been? I've been live for the last 2 hours. Like I am every day. Word. BLM believed that their cause was enough to go to jail. Yeah, but that's what I mean, though. Like, what could they even get you? What do you get? What is interference? What? I guess we'd have to know the exact term. Like, they're threatening to throw people in jail, but what is the term? You can't just throw people in jail. There has to be a law that is being broken. So let's say interfering with a police investigation. Time in jail. Destroying evidence, obstructing police interview, witness tampering, giving false information. Consequences of interfering with a police investigation. Misdemeanor charges punishable by up to 1 year in jail and fines up to $1,000, and that's according to California, which is not where this is happening, but let's say in North Carolina. It's probably going to be similar charges. Class 1 misdemeanor in North Carolina, punishable by up to 120 days in jail and a fine up to $2,000. Now, we don't exactly know what the police are threatening to arrest people for, right? And federal agents, which is probably different crimes. But without knowing the exact label of what they're threatening, we could only assume that you'd be interfering with a police investigation or an ongoing event or whatever the fuck they're going to label it. You'd be facing like 6 months in jail and $2,000 in fines. Now, if they call you an insurrectionist, that's a whole different thing. But I feel like that's not that big of a threat when it comes to saving people, saving Americans. You're risking 6 months in jail or letting those people die. I don't know. I don't know. That doesn't sound like that big of a deal. Antifa and them, they were makeshifting weapons. Like, they were committing federal crimes for their cause. And people are like, oh no, we're going to have to let the Americans die. I don't want to go to jail for 120 days. I've done 120 days in jail for a lot less. I tell you, a lot less than that shit. So, I don't know. That's rough stuff. I don't want people to go to jail, and I'm not saying they should. I'm just saying, like, there is a difference. When blue team's ready to go versus when red team is ready to go, there is a difference. Lance, get a Dell. Yeah. See, I haven't heard that yet. Somebody needs to be there. Amazing Disgrace. I'm drinking banana liquor that's 50. Is it MD 50/50 or what? MD 20/20? I'm trying to think, or is it what do they call it? 99 bananas or whatever? It's been a long time since I drank all that shit. I was a teenager when I was drinking that stupid shit. Oh my God, are we buffering again? We are. God, like 16 bad days in a row is too many. Guess they would trespass them under martial law. Oh shit. Well, yeah, that would be bad. That would be bad. They could be getting themselves in a situation where they could become detained indefinitely. Like the land grab stuff that we were talking about last week. I really don't want to have to sit here and reset all this stuff. I wish the internet would straighten the hell up. Trump girl, my daughter volunteered to clean up. That's badass. I hope she stays safe out there. J-Dog. They never thought that they would never end up in jail too. Who are you talking about? Oh, J6ers? Well, J6ers were going to the Capitol to do nothing. Because even when we were covering it, we were like, what are they going to do when they get to the Capitol? And then they got inside and they were like, what do we do? And I was like, yeah, what are you going to do? They didn't do shit. They just stood around. And yeah, they got what they got. But they weren't going there with intentions of saving lives. So, I don't know. Just depends on how you feel about American life. Yeah, DCAT. No, it's not people telling me it's buffering. I can see it right on my software. I can't do anything about it. I've had Spectrum come here like 6 times and check the outlets and all that, and they're like, nah, you're good. Okay, then why the fuck does my live drop? They're like, I don't know. What's a live stream? Like, okay. When you know more than the internet company, you're me. That's how it is. You're just me. You just know more than everybody around you. It sucks. Fucking sucks. Anyways, we're going to attempt to get into this next video here. It's titled, I've never seen my city like this, the Asheville mayor says. And like I was mentioning before the reset, they're going to show you images of some of the stuff that's going on here, and they're going to talk about how they perceive how everything is going. So let's get into this. Don't forget, hit that like button over on Rumble.
I want to go right now to Esther Manheimer, an Asheville, the Asheville, North Carolina mayor. Mayor, thank you so much for joining us. It does look like a war zone, Mayor. And how are you holding up? What's the latest?
Well, we're a strong community and we're hanging in there, but this is going to be a long road to recovery. That is for sure.
You know, so many of the roads, and I was looking at some of these areas of the Blue Ridge Parkway. Of course, it's a 2-lane highway for the most part, and oftentimes there are large swaths of that, Mayor, as you know far better than I, that are inaccessible. And I'm just wondering, that alone takes a long time, makes it difficult to get help, hence all the helicopter help. What's the latest on that?
So we do have a lot of helicopters in the air around here because there are places that are isolated, cut off with road washouts and bridge washouts. Where they're still only accessible by helicopter, needed to bring resources in. And we do have FEMA here on the ground and a state effort, and they're able to airlift those resources into those communities. And here in the center of the city, we're able to stand up several sites throughout the city for people to receive those really just life-sustaining support that we need right now, food, water, those kinds of resources, so that our folks that are here are able to continue to live in their homes if they have a home that's habitable.
Yeah, and that's a very good point, Mayor. They have a home, right? A lot of them, the ones who are able to finally reach and get help, rescuers come, or a lot of these soldiers, the helicopters who arrive, don't find the home at all. That's what makes this so unreal.
It is, as the governor said, it is an unprecedented, catastrophic event. I've been the mayor here for over 10 years. This is my city. I have never seen it like this. And it is going to take a long time to dig out so that we are able to rebuild and continue to be the amazing city that we are. This is a place where we have over 11 million tourists a year normally. We would normally be entering into our beautiful leaf changing season.
Sure.
But right now we're just devastated and doing everything we can to move through this crisis and prepare for that rebuilding effort to make us whole once again.
Thank you, Mayor, very much. Be strong. You have been, and your people have been. Esther Manheimer, the mayor of Asheville, North Carolina. It's a beautiful neck of the woods. Right now, a badly damaged neck of the woods.
I'm Steve.
I hate that YouTube puts all that stupid shit all over the screen. You can't stop the video without clicking on some sort of stupid ad. Anyways, monitoring the stupid internet, which I also don't want to do. Like I said, in the background, you can see images of Asheville there, and it looks like a third world country. You can't even tell those are roads. There's so much dirt on everything and just chaos. Now, they were showing a bunch of FEMA agents or some sort of federal people, some military of some sort, passing water and whatnot, but that's the only time I've seen it. I keep seeing articles, posts, videos, people saying that those guys aren't out there. They're like on the sidelines somewhere. But they're not really going out and getting the people that are isolated. They're just on the outskirts. That's what I keep hearing. I don't know what's what because I'm not there. But that is the only instance I've seen any kind of government agency doing anything for any of these people, is them handing each other bottles of water. I don't know what they're doing, but that's it. That's all I've seen, in that sense. So like I said, we got a couple of these videos that are all related to the same thing. So we're going to get right into this next video here. It's titled Hurricane Helene Death Toll Raises to 227. And in this, they're going to be claiming that, like, I want to say it's at the very end of the video, they start claiming propaganda shit. They start saying that the money wasn't spent on illegals, and that's not why we don't have enough money to help the people, and Republicans are liars, and they squeeze that in right at the end to try and undermine what everybody is saying. But like I said in the beginning, last week we covered videos where they were saying it's very common practice to relocate this FEMA funds for different situations. They'll have something that they're working on, like border crossers, and they run out of money. And they got money over here that ain't doing anything because that problem isn't happening right now. So they file paperwork to have that money moved back over here so they can give it to border crossers. And this is a common practice. We covered like 2 or 3 videos that were talking about this. President Trump has also been talking about it fairly religiously over the last week with his rallies and town halls and all the events that he's been doing lately. And so these people are trying to fight against that by putting out propaganda, claiming that President Trump's a liar and all Republicans are a liar and cut your wiener off and, go do the bullshit. So anyways, we're going to go ahead and get into this video. And after this video,
the death toll,
we will hop in the chat and see what you hooligans think. We do have one more after this that is related, but I'll give you guys a chance to let your feelings be heard. But before that, we're going to get into this. It's titled Hurricane Helene Death Toll Rises to 227.
the death toll from Hurricane Helene rises to 227 as the grim task of recovering bodies continues. Meanwhile, pressure mounting on Congress to approve more money for FEMA so it can address the widespread damage. Fox's Chad Pergram reports.
FEMA has money to tackle Helene, but the severity of the storm is bleeding FEMA's coffers dry. That worries Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas.
We are meeting the immediate needs with the money that we have. We are expecting another hurricane hitting. We do not have the funds. FEMA does not have the funds to make it through the season.
The hurricane season runs through November 30th. The storm may alter the congressional calculus for disaster relief. While Congress is expected to reload FEMA just before Christmas, it may need to pass a bill as soon as lawmakers return to Washington in mid-November.
It will take some time to tabulate this storm. It's one of the biggest in our history, of course.
Lawmakers representing devastated areas demand action now.
I'm more than willing to come back tomorrow from a legislative standpoint to make certain that we have the funding appropriated and ready to go.
The price tag for Helene could be massive, but some lawmakers believe the storm gives Congress an opportunity to recalibrate priorities.
We give $20 billion a year to FEMA. And unfortunately, they have drained everything dry with all the illegal aliens coming in. We spent $200 billion in Ukraine. We spend $2,500 a month on all illegal aliens.
However, there are different accounts for FEMA's disaster fund and the migrant crisis. DHS says it was, quote, false. The agency diverted hurricane money. The White House accused Republicans of using the storm to divide people before the election. On Capitol Hill, Chad Pergram, Fox News.
See what I mean? It's the Republicans' fault that FEMA spent all that damn money on the border crossers. That's it. That's their answer to everything. We don't pay enough in taxes. That's what they might as well come out and say. We don't pay enough in taxes. They're giving money to Lebanon. They're giving money to the Ukraine every other damn day. They're spending money and giving money to the border crossers. No, those Republicans are fucking liars. That's what it is. It's so stupid. It's so stupid. Well, it's not stupid. It's very clever because it works on dumbass blue voters. Democrat voters got to be the dumbest people in the fucking country. Like, look at the person they're voting for. She has no policy, no record of anything good. All she's promising is she'll let you kill babies. They didn't even told you how they're going to let you do that. And these people enjoy voting for somebody that they didn't nominate as their primary. They have no response to that. You find any Democrat voter out there and bring up the fact that they did not vote for her to be the primary, and all they got is calling you names. There is no justification for that. That is communism. That shouldn't even be happening here. And the people voting for her are totally fine with it. Like I said, they got to be the dumbest people in the country. It just doesn't make any sense. Anyways, next up, fact-checking 3 misleading claims. Let me make sure. Yeah. Fact-checking 3 misleading claims about Helene relief efforts. This video is so ridiculous. This is just more propaganda. They're over-providing information. They're blurring the lines of reality. And so you'll stop asking questions about the Hurricane Helene victims. They'll let those people die. They'll bulldoze all of the bodies into the bullshit, right into the ocean. They'll start mining that lithium. And they'll go ahead and do some happy dances on their graves, praying that MAGA loses this season. That's what they're doing right now. This goofy-ass propaganda video is just outrageous. Because they're like, no. Posts on social media are spreading misinformation about what's happening with Hurricane Helene. We can tell because on X they said this. That's false. You know why? Because on Facebook they said this, and that's true. That's literally what they do in this video. They compare social media posts to disprove social media posts. Totally stupid. Anyways, we're going to hop in the chat really quick like I promised. Hear what you guys have to say about Hurricane Helene, all that stuff that's what we just covered in the last 2 videos. What's up, Sam? Happy freedom to you. Breeze by you, they don't want anyone help. No, if they could glass that area, they would. If they could do it without pissing everybody off, they would. Zero, there's 2 Harris Walls signs on my street now, and they don't have American flags. I don't know why, but it pisses me off when I see Harris voters carrying American flags. I don't know what it is, but something about that pisses me off. They walk around calling themselves patriots. And I'm like, you guys are voting for somebody the government selected. And they're like, yeah. And they wave their American flag. They're like, we're patriots. Don't say it too loud. You'd be with the J6ers. And then they get all sour. Get all sour. Because they're a bunch of phonies. As it is, they're a bunch of phonies out there. They're like, well, if Hyena Harris can copy President Trump, then we'll copy the Trump supporters. Guess in 2022, KJP clearly said that FEMA money went to the border. Yeah, I guess they're only fooling people who don't know what's going on. That's the problem. We know what's going on. They can't lie to us. We already know what's going on. It's the normies that fall for this stupid stuff. And that's why it's important to share the live. I told you guys this before. If I walk around telling everybody to watch the live, they're going to be like, well, yeah, you run the live. Of course you want us to, to watch the live. But if you guys tell other people to watch the live, it means a lot more. It gives a bigger impression. And then we wouldn't have so many people out there just wandering, lost, and being lied to. And getting news from their uncle or whoever the fuck they get it from. Or God forbid they're believing CNN. So it really matters when you guys share out the live and stuff. It's not a vanity thing. I'm tired of looking at stupid people. I'm tired of dealing with Harris voters. I'm tired of people hurting kids and praising illegals coming into the country and all this stupid shit. If they knew what was going on, they wouldn't believe the bullshit. And you got some people who are just so deep, neck deep in the bullshit that they can't even smell it anymore. But there's normies out there who don't have any sources of news. They're not interested in professional media, the government media, and they might get along with all of us hooligans. So like I'm saying, it is important that you guys share out the lives on social media. You get your family members involved. We got 2 butts in the chat most of the time. Annette and her husband both joined up on the website. And so, it's just better if we're all on the same page. Because I'm just, like I said, I'm sick to death of staring at stupid people. Going around and seeing these Harris voters, I'm like, are you kidding me? You're voting for the people that support children being mutilated and dude and women's sports and locker rooms and bathrooms. Like, people that support individuals shooting at a presidential candidate. Like, just say you're a bad person. Like, fuck. If I see people with a Harris sign, I assume they're just bad people. That's it. You must, enjoy being a bad person. That's all I can think. I don't know. There's no other answer. Breeze by you wanting Kamala the commie is not American. Yeah, it drives me nuts. Russell, I hate the Lion Dems. Yeah, I can't stand the Democratic leaders because they're liars and they're clever. They seem stupid, but that's part of their game because that helps them identify with their voters because their voters are fucking stupid. So they're like, hey, I'm a dummy, and their voters are like, hey, I'm a dummy too. And then they can pull the wool over their eyes, you know, just be real clever about what they say, and their dumb voters are like, yeah, I'm gonna cut my kid's wiener off in solidarity, you know, and they're very clever. I can't stand the people on Capitol Hill just as much as I can't stand the dumbass Democrat voters, but they're the ones being fooled. They're the ones being lied to. They're victims of the shit. As much as they're a part of the problem, they're actually victims to the Democratic leaders on Capitol Hill. That's the real problem, is the people on Capitol Hill. And we need to vote them out. I'm not anti-government. I'm for government reform. We need better people leading the country so these dumbasses out here who are easily tricked, they don't have to be misled. At least not to the degree that they're being misled right now. I never thought I would live in a life where we're seeing the shit we're seeing, you know, just in the last year. I never thought. It's like Saturday Night Live. It's like the Twilight Zone. It's like backwards day around here. And, you know, that's how you know you're in the end of times. But shit, if I got to go 200 years of this bullshit, we need to straighten things out. Snooks, two butts, the way you have a way with words. That's what they say. I didn't do that. You ask Annette. They did that. I'm just celebrating them because I love those guys. Sam, yeah, it's really hard for me to forget that they've tried to kill President Trump twice that we know of. Yeah, Sam, exactly. Exactly. Breeze by you, their voters are so stupid. You can't even have a conversation. Yeah. Yeah, for the tolerant bunch, they don't have tolerance for conversations. They gotta just start calling you names and stuff, you know? Got some zombies with degrees. Yeah. Their degree just lets you know that they passed their re-education camp. That's what their degree is. They got straight A's in their re-education camp. That's why they're walking around being, you know, against Jewish people and stuff. I guess Columbia taught them that. I can only assume. They don't seem like they studied anything else. People are saying today and tomorrow and whatever, there's supposed to be mass protests, and they always say this shit, and I don't think it'll ever be like 2020. But they claim that because today is like 1 year since Hamas did whatever they did or whatever happened over there. So they're assuming that all the college kids will be protesting today, camping out in the campus yard, you know, doing their little version of autonomous zones and all of that. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Bobby, ass kicking time. Bubblegum shortage coming. Ass kicking time. That's right. I'm here to chew bubblegum and kick ass. And I'm all out of bubblegum. Yep. Paul, the generations of no spankings has caught up to us. Offended by all, accountable by none. Paul, I absolutely agree with you. And every single time I bring up having to spank your kids, we get 30 people in the fucking chat that want to tell me that I'm suggesting that you should abuse your kids. As somebody who was abused as a child, I would never condone somebody beating their kids in the sense of abuse. But you gotta straighten them out. If you do not discipline your kids, the world will. And the world isn't nice about it. How many videos have we covered where some criminals out here doing criminal shit and they get shot and killed by the police because they're acting like a dumbass and they're not following orders and they're not complying with the officer and they end up dead. And then mom comes out and goes, "Oh, you're such a sweet boy." Yeah, you thought so. And now he's a dead body. Now he's a number on the screen. And nobody even cares. There's people even joking about it on the internet. If you don't want that for your kid, you better fucking discipline them. I'm telling you. Because not only was I abused instead of disciplined, but I had to go to jail a bunch of times before I figured out I was on the wrong path. And thankfully, nothing real bad happened to me in jail, but the world's not soft-handed when it comes to discipline. So when you're scared to take your kid's Xbox away, or you're scared to raise your voice at your child, just know the world is not nice when it comes to discipline. You better make sure that little fucker is straight by the time they're 20, because otherwise, that's the world's problem right there. I mean, you don't want that stuff. I don't want that stuff. And that's that. But every time I bring up spanking your kids, everybody gets all mad and shit. You know, whatever's. I can't win. I don't want to win. I just want to reach the right people, you know? Stoner, it's okay to hit your kids a little bit. I mean, I can only say what I can say. I can't necessarily say on that, but yeah. Yeah, Trump girl, you sound like you raised your kids right. Absolutely. Astro Hammer, physical discipline may not help them, but at least you tried. Well, that's why I'm saying, you know, like, discipline. However you got to do it, get the job done. Because you don't want the world doing it. You know, you just don't. Yeah, Cricket Kiss, I know. It's my damn internet. It's not Rumble. It's something here at the house. And it's not I didn't pay for the best shit. I have paid all the money I got. I haven't eaten in 3 days. Okay? Like, I pay everything I have into this live. It's just technical shit is happening. I'm trying to get through it. If it really, really becomes a problem, we'll do a full reset. It'll take 10 minutes for me to get back online. And we'll see how it goes. But we'll cross that road when we get there. Here, Juicer, did you cover them delaying Assassin's trial because they have 4,000 terabytes of evidence to come through? No, Hair Juicer, I haven't found a solid video on that. I know that they're trying to get what was his name, Ryan Ruth or whatever. They're trying to get him out of the assassination charge. They're trying to say that they're going to be able to pull him out of that and not charge him with attempted assassination on President Trump. That was the last I heard about it. I haven't heard anything about the 4,000 terabytes of evidence, though. If you have a link to that here, Juicer, definitely send it to me so I could check it out, and maybe we can find some content for tomorrow's live. Matt, I'm not going to read your business out loud, but definitely let me know what he says, Matt. Jay Spray, I spanked my kids enough, just enough, so it still works as a threat. Yeah, Jay Spray, because that's the other part of the equation there is eventually they get so big so fast that if you didn't discipline them, you know what I mean? You didn't do it when they were young. When they get old enough, you hit them, they'll hit you back. So I'm not saying to hit your kids, but eventually they do get too old to discipline. They won't hear you anymore, right? They just get mad and then they go right off on their bike or whatever kids do nowadays. So yeah, you know, do it as they're coming up, because once they get to teenagers, they're hard as shit to discipline. Zero. What's happening here is not Rumble. It's something wrong with the internet, and it could be anything. It could be the computer, could be the modem, could be the router, could be driver updates. The list goes on. That's why it's frustrating. I don't get frustrated with you guys. I know sometimes it feels that way. I'm just frustrated at technology. I give it my all, and when things go wrong, you're going to be frustrated, you know? Thank you so much, Cricket Kiss, for that $20 donation on Rumble. I really appreciate the support. Thank you so much. It says, buy a pizza, dear. Well, thank you, Cricket Kiss. You're awesome. What's up, Plastic Quack? Happy Freedom. What's up, Darth Blaze? Peckerson. My grown youngins know better than to hit me. Yeah. Yeah, Peckerson. Well, you know, the chances are you raised them right. They ain't trying to, pick fights. You see how the dumb Antifa are. They go up to Proud Boys and start spitting in their face, and then what happens? They catch haymakers. They get put on their purple hair. That's what happens. So yeah, you raise them right, they'll know. You got to pick your battles and all that. What's up, Susan? Happy Freedom. Amazing Disgrace. Kids need to fear discipline. You don't have to physically do it if they fear it. Well, I feel like it's respect. If you can teach them that all actions have consequences, you've done the job. Because it may not make them perfect. There's not enough ass whoopings, not enough Xboxes being broken in half to make a person perfect, right? You just can't do it. You can't make somebody perfect. But if you can make them understand that your actions have consequences, that's the majority of the battle right there. They should know wrong from right just from living in the house, right? So if they know wrong from right and they know that their choices will have consequences, that's the best you can do, in my opinion. That's the best you can do, because you're going to have to roll the dice every time you get out of bed. You're going to have choices to make, and you're going to make the right ones or you're going to make the wrong ones, and whatever happens is going to happen. And it's the people who don't understand that are the ones that are fucked up, where they think, hey, I'm going to steal this guy's car and I get a new Charger. That's not how it works in life. You might drive that car for a whole 20 minutes before the police are on your ass trying to do some things, right? Then you go to prison or you're on trial and mom's there crying for you and all this shit. And you're like, Mom, they're going to take me to prison. Yeah, they sure are. Because the consequences have actions. You knew that was the wrong thing to do, and you did it anyway. So when you get your new prison cell and your new cellie, well, enjoy that, you know. But that's the best you could do, is try and prepare these people. And the world's getting more fucked up every day. So, you know, best of luck to everybody. That's where we are right now. Anyways, moving forward, hopefully we'll be able to get through this before more internet issues. I don't know. I'm watching it fluctuate. I really don't want to have to go through a major reset, but we'll see. Anyways, we got a propaganda video. Let me find it really quick here. It's titled Fact-Checking 3 Misleading Claims About Helene Relief Efforts. So like I said, they make a big deal about social media lying to you. The social media is misleading you when it comes to Hurricane Helene victims and the situation itself. With that being said, they're fact-checking it with other social media posts. It literally doesn't make any sense. It is clearly propaganda. But let's go ahead and enjoy the way that they lie to the Democratic voters.
Officials involved in the storm relief efforts are urging North Carolinians now to rely only on credible sources for information. Social media, of course, can be full of baseless claims about the recovery effort and the politicians who are involved. Paul Spade checks a few of those for you for PolitiFact.
Let's go over a few misleading claims about the response to Helene, starting with this social media post. It says there was a town meeting in Chimney Rock where residents were told their property was being seized by the federal government. That's simply not true. The Rutherford County government issued this statement on Facebook saying no such meeting even happened in the land. It's not being seized, and FEMA told us this whole thing is entirely false. What about this next one? This video from a Florida man sort of went viral the other day, and one thing he said was Tim Moore, the Speaker of the House in North Carolina, prevented him from flying his helicopter on rescue missions. That's not true either. Now, that guy tried to correct the record in that same video, but some people didn't hear that part. So Speaker Moore says he's been getting hateful messages about something that never even happened. All right, one more. Lieutenant Governor Mark Robinson, who's running for governor, he criticized Governor Cooper for, quote, hobnobbing with rich folks in New York while the storm was on its way. This is misleading. Cooper wasn't at a fundraiser or anything like that. Last Wednesday, more than a day before the storm made landfall, Cooper spoke at a conference on climate change in New York. He flew back the same day. Robinson, meanwhile, held several campaign events on that Friday as the rain was causing flooding in western North Carolina. These are just a few of the claims we looked into. You can read our full roundup at WREL.com.
So like I said, it's just straight propaganda. That's all that is propaganda. If they had real news, they wouldn't be worried about fact-checking what someone else says. They would prove it to you, right? If I was like, I have a giant cat, he's a fucking beast, right? Blue team comes out and they go, actually, Jeff did not obtain this cat, blah, 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 blah. And then I could just simply hold the cat up and go, see the cat? And prove it. Because to spend time disproving other people's bullshit means you don't have anything going on in your day. And that's how Blue Team plays. You can see it in everything we cover. Anytime Hyena Harris or Walls is on stage, what do? They talk bad about President Trump. What does President Trump do? Talks about his policies. Their red team, well, President Trump, I don't know about all red team, but President Trump tries to prove what's going on. Same thing with like Newsmax and stuff. Newsmax does pretty well. And so they're like trying to prove shit. They're like, look at this. These are what this is what's going on. Blue team's like, no, that's not true. Actually, the internet says this. They're not proving anything. They're too busy trying to blur the lines. That's all they do. Oh, you like this guy? We're going to just say bad stuff about him. Again, they try to make their castle the tall one by constantly kicking yours over. They don't never build on themselves. They just want to kick your shit over and over and over and try to be the tallest sandcastle standing by making sure that no one else gets to build theirs. That's what they do. That's what that video is. And that's why, like, a part of me feels bad for these blue voters, because they're duped. These guys are being tricked. Yes, they act like heathens, but they're duped. They're tricked. It's easier to trick somebody than it is to explain to them that they've been tricked. And I don't know how to explain it. You feel bad for the people you can't stand, you know? And I've said this once. I remember one day somebody in the chat was talking about how they wish God would do away with these evil people. But I pray that God changes their heart. I don't think God is in the business, and this is my own belief, of doing away with people. We are all his favorite, whether we vote for Trump or not. We are all his favorite. And so I don't pray for these people to be done away with. I pray that God will change their heart. They could always turn around and become a good person. Now, if they're a certain kind of person, they've made certain choices, they may not be redeemable. They may not be able to reintegrate with society. But I at least wish that God would stop them from making the evil choices. You can't undo what's already been done. And like pedophiles, right? Are they ever going to be acceptable? No. But I do wish that God would change their heart so at least they would stop doing those actions, whether the pedophiles or political officials or whatever. I just pray that God would change their heart. Now, I also pray for accountability. We got people out here doing bad stuff. They should be held accountable. I just wish that after accountability rains down on them, they have a different heart when they come out of it. Whether they're doing life in prison, they're facing execution, whatever the case may be, I pray that God would change their heart, not just do away with them. That's what the devil does, is do away with people. Use you, chew you up, and spit you out. But God keeps you whole. And I pray that God will change their heart. Next up, we have residents preparing homes as Hurricane Milton is aimed at Florida, expected to hit land by midweek. I keep seeing people saying that by Wednesday, Hurricane Milton will be hitting Florida. It currently, I think, is a Category 5 hurricane, and they're expecting it to be a Category 3 by the time it hits land. I've also heard, and I can't remember if it's this video or not, but there is mention that hopefully it will just pass over Florida, go back out into the ocean, and not affect Georgia, South Carolina, and North Carolina, where they're still cleaning stuff up and getting everything situated. Let me see. Yeah, so we're going to read through the chat first, and then we'll get on to Hurricane Milton. And then after that, we have 2 videos related to Eric Adams. It's not about him specifically. It's about his staff. But it's an update on what's going on with Eric Adams. And that will be all of our news for the day. We got some really funny videos coming up after all of that. But right now, we're going to hop in the chat, see what you hooligans think about that propaganda piece we just covered. Oh, Snooks, I try. I just speak from the heart, and it lands however it lands. Zero, yep. I had that moment a few years ago. Figured out that we've all been lied to all our lives. Yep. I was just explaining that to somebody either yesterday or the day before. I was like, you got people who know what's going on, and we're like on the outskirts, and we can turn and look at the herd, and we can tell we're all being herded in a direction because we're watching it kind of from the outside. We're still a part of the herd, but we know what's going on. Then you got people who are in the herd on farther inward who believe the propaganda. They believe the government's media. And so they hang on every word. And those are the people who were enforcing the mandates on you, even though they weren't paid to do it. They're like, oh, you got to wear a mask. Oh, pull your shit over your nose. Oh, do this. Oh, do that. They're not even government employees. They're just fucking Karens. Just walking around bossing people around. Those are people who are in the herd and they're drinking from the government media. Then you got people who are in the mosh pit. They're in the middle there. Those are the people who think they're not a part of the herd because they don't watch the news. Their information for pop culture, which is what news is at this point, comes from Uncle Danny, their cousin that they walked and buy blunts with on the weekends, or their co-workers. That's where they get their news from. So they're like, oh, that's what's happening? Crazy. And they pass whatever this obscured information they have, and they're like, well, I'm not a part of the problem because I don't watch the news. No, in reality, you're the most manipulated because you're following the commercials, you're buying all the products, you're doing whatever's cool, you're watching the TV, you're influenced by your friends, your family, your coworkers, your fucking students you hang out with, whatever that may be. You are the most manipulated because you're not even watching the news. You're being influenced by everyone around you who does watch the news. And so it's kind of like being at a concert. But for the normies, they don't realize they're out here on the floor with us. And that's kind of how all of us are. And we don't really know unless we're on the same page like we are. We're on the outskirts. We can see the herd. We can tell we're in a herd. We can kind of have an idea of where we're going, while everybody else just thinks they're having a party and we're at a concert right now. And that's kind of how it is. We're all in the maze together. Just some of us know about it and some of us don't. But I haven't found a way off the wheel yet. Zero, it's not true because I say it's not true. Yeah, that's exactly what that video was. Like I said, they're like, this post on X is misinformation because on Facebook they said this, that, and the other, and that's true. I'm like, okay. They could have had KJP do that video, I'm just saying. Breeze by you consequences, that's a good thing to teach along with being a good person. Absolutely. Absolutely. Guess I tried spanking my wife. It didn't work. She still acts up. Well, guess you might have to try killing them with kindness. If the discipline doesn't work, you're going to have to be sweet on them. That's how you do it. Zero, I never wanted my parents mad at me, so I behaved mostly. My mom used to punch me in the face. I wasn't worried about shit. I was trying to do right. Like, I'd be sitting there doing nothing and still get punched in the face. So it was like, I didn't even know if I was doing wrong just by existing. So, I don't know. I had to learn the hard way what wrong and right was. Because either one got you a punch in the face. So it was difficult to learn. Guess I got my ass busted with stacked Hot Wheels tracks. I can feel the sting just thinking about that. Yeah, the orange ones, right? The orange ones hurt the worst. I don't know why. It's something about it being orange. That's why we're voting for the Orange Eagle. Guess we're getting it figured out. Who needs therapy? We got hooligans. It'll be fine. We ain't got to pay for therapy. Shit. Snooks, please don't tell me that you're not eating. I shall fuss at you heavily. I'm eating a little bit, but I can only afford so much, and I work all damn day, so Klaus needs to grow some thumbs, and he needs to go ahead and start cooking these meals around here instead of laying around all damn day. Breeze by you, I would love for propaganda to be outlawed again. Me too. And I don't know how that's going to happen, because say the government came out and said, well, we're going to limit what the news is allowed to say. That is not going to go well with anybody. That's going to sound like limiting our freedoms. And I don't know exactly what it was worded like before Obama changed things, but that really screwed us. Because, like I said, it's the government's media. Doesn't matter what the title is. If it's a mainstream news thing, that is the government's media. Like, they might as well have swastikas on the shit. Like, that shit belongs to the government. I don't know what they're doing downstairs. They're like slamming stuff. They better chill out. Sam, Klaus should put up some paw pics. I'm saying he needs to put them cat toes out there, make some money for this damn rent. Over there just taking naps all day. Spoiled. I got his fresh catnip because I grew it or whatever, and it's taking over my little greenhouse thing. I keep throwing clippings from the catnip in his box that he hangs out in. So he just hangs out with his fresh catnip. I'm like, what a spoiled little bastard. Crit Kiss, oh bummer, signed on to the news propaganda. Yeah. Yep, he's the one that got us in this mess. Wayward, I try to be the influencer at work, and my friends have come to trust what I say over the years. Yeah, Wayward. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. The problem is when you have people that are just disconnected. They're just floating out there, and they don't know right from wrong as sense of the news. And so, they hear you say something, and then this girl that they think is hot is voting for Harris, and, they're they're easily influenced because they're not grounded anywhere. And so I have a lot of friends like that too, where I come around and people are like, hey, what's going on? Da, da, da. And I'm like, nothing, what's going on with you? They're like, no, in the world. What's happening in the world? Because they know that I know about stuff. I don't know about everything in the world, but I know a lot about what's going on in the country. And I try to be really specific because I don't want to be misquoted or anything like that. But at the same time, I got receipts. So I'm like, you want to see? I'll pull the link up. And they're like, yeah, let's check it out, you know. But like I said, when you got people who aren't grounded and their news comes from people standing next to them, it makes them mush brains because they don't, you know, they have conflicting information in their head. Hendrix, I keep hearing that FEMA's boots on the ground. Meanwhile, there's only like 2 videos of them doing anything. Absolutely, Hendrix. Absolutely. That's exactly how I feel too. What's up, Abusive? Happy Freedom. Done. Before I quit Facebook, everyone I know bitched about me posting news. Then when I got off of there, they're hitting me up, asking me what's going on. People are like cats. Give them a bit and then take it away. Yeah, Dutton. That Edward used to say it to me all the time because I get frustrated. You know, I'll get on here and I'll say what's happening or what I think is a good idea or what's a bad idea and whatever. And then I'll say it for 4 or 5 days in a row. And then on day 6, there'll be 20 people in the chat who are like, oh, I fell in the hole. And I'm like, oh, the hole I told you about for 5 days? And they're like, yeah. And I'm like, why? Like, why? I spend all day, every day telling you not to fall in the hole. The hole's right there. And then you still fell in the hole. And I let my frustrations go on Edward. He's like, dude, it's like herding cats. I'm like, don't tell me. Okay, I know. I know. I just want to save everybody and I can't. It's driving me crazy. What's up, eye level? Happy Freedom. Patriot Dad making broccoli, cheddar, and Black Forest ham quiche for dinner. That sounds pretty good. I'm starving. Crit Kiss, truth resonates with many. Yes. Plus, I think if you're delivering information as a way of building people up, preparing people, it floats a lot different than when you're spending your time tearing others down. You know, like, it just depends. Because if you went to a Harris supporter and you try to tell her how great Trump is instead of telling them how bad Harris is, it probably wouldn't work because they're already invested. But if you get around normies, that works. Instead of going up there and telling them how bad everybody else sucks, tell them what's good. You know, tell them what's good going on. And it's just simply a difference in perception. It doesn't necessarily make the information different. It's just how it's delivered. And misunderstandings happen all the time. I can't stand it, but it happens all the time. And like I was saying about red team, blue team, a lot of times they're trying to prove something while blue team is just trying to trash everybody around them. And that's one of the things that make me question why Democratic voters enjoy their party. Their party is just a party of destruction. That's it. Democrats are burn everything down, kill all the babies. Everyone but us is a bunch of liars. And I don't know why people are attracted to that other than misery enjoys company. So maybe they're just reaching miserable people. I don't know. I'm still trying to figure it out, but it's a lot of psychology involved. I know that. Backyard Renegade, limiting propaganda is limiting free speech. Yeah, Backyard, that's exactly what I was talking about. If we went back and tried to stop the government's media from lying to us, people would say we're silencing free speech. That's literally what I just said. Like, see? Proved it. Proved it. I ain't got to kick nobody's sandcastle down. I just proved this shit, you know? Amazing disgrace. Only cats. Fuck the world. I'm saying Cat Daniels needs to stretch some toes on the internet. This rent ain't gonna pay itself. What's up, Mary Todd? Happy Freedom. Zero, there's so many moderate Democrats that are walking away. I'm so happy to see that. Yeah, and like I said, you know, it probably gets exhausting to be around individuals that are constantly tearing everything down. you know. And we've covered 6, 7, 8 videos of Democrats becoming Republicans because of that. Because they just can't agree with what's happening. And I don't know how anybody can, honestly. Anyways, we're going to move forward to this next one. This is about Hurricane Milton, which is supposed to hit land by Wednesday, or at least that's what I've been hearing. That's what I've been heard. Jesus, I'm having a day. Anyway, we're going to get into this. It's titled, Residents Preparing Homes as Hurricane Milton is aimed for Florida, expected to land by midweek. Oh, come on. Let's do the thing. All right, hooligans. Once again, this is Residents Preparing Homes as Hurricane Milton is aimed at Florida, expected to land by midweek. We're going to get into this, but go over there and hit that like button on Rumble.
Welcome back. All eyes in the Gulf of Mexico as another hurricane is taking aim at Florida.
The National Weather Service says Hurricane Milton is intensifying in the Gulf of Mexico and is expected to move northeast towards the Florida peninsula by the middle of the week.
Christian Benavides has this report from Tampa.
Milton is now a hurricane.
As 6 southern states continue to deal with the devastation Hurricane Helene left behind, the Gulf Coast of Florida is now bracing for Milton. The storm is forecast to make landfall around the middle of the week.
The forecast currently calls for the storm to reach potentially a Category 4 with landfall at a Category 3.
While Milton gathered steam over the weekend, Floridians prepared.
Making sure all the sandbags are at our doorstep garage, and that's the most preparation we're going to do.
We're just doing it to help out our grandma, but we're going to get like groceries later and stuff in case it's really bad.
The storm was on track to become a major hurricane with the Tampa Bay area in its path.
The entire Florida peninsula on the Gulf side has the potential to have major impacts from storm surge. How that storm ultimately develops in terms of the track will obviously have a big impact in terms of which areas are going to get more damage than others.
Forecasters say Milton could potentially cross Florida and head out into the Atlantic. That would spare Georgia and the Carolinas from anything like the catastrophic impact Helene delivered. Christian Benavides, CBS News, Tampa, Florida.
All right. Klaus Daniels said you got to vote for President Trump so the Haitians don't eat him. Okay. Now that reminer is out the way. Hopefully Hurricane Milton isn't that bad. Hopefully it just blows past Florida, goes back out in the ocean, and goes back to wherever the hell it came from. Because I know there's people suffering from Hurricane Helene. They're not ready for a second hurricane. I bet those people don't even know that it's coming. You know what I mean? They're stranded. They're unreachable. There's people that can only be helped by helicopter, and those helicopters aren't coming, at least not from what it looks like. So they have no idea that a second hurricane is on the way. That would feel like hell. Imagine spending 7 days, 8 days, however long it's been, stranded, suffering, and living in an apocalyptic state. And then all of a sudden it starts raining again. Imagine what that would be like. The terror you would feel, the trauma you're going through. It would be terrible. So hopefully that doesn't happen. I also don't want bad things to happen to any Floridians. But I don't have hurricanes. I don't know much about it. I live in Michigan. So hopefully it just blows over, goes back on the ocean, leaves everybody the hell alone. We got to deal with the damn Biden-Harris administration. Go the hell away, hurricanes. We got enough problems around here. The damn Democrats, I don't know. It's no border crossers. We don't need hurricanes. God, give us a break. Give us a little bit of a break. God, put some spaces in here. Delay some stuff. Holy. I don't know. I just hope everything is going to be okay. Like I said, Hurricane Milton is supposed to reach land by Wednesday, or at least that's what I keep hearing over and over again. It's a Category 5, but by the time it hits land, it's going to be a Category 3. Like I said, I've never experienced any hurricane, so I don't know a whole lot about that, and I'm hoping for the best. Next up, we have 2 different videos on Mayor Sheena Wright. She's deputy mayor, excuse me. It's part of Eric Adams' team. Now, we all know Eric Adams, he's getting thrown under the bus because he turned his back on old man Walter when he realized that old man Walter was not going to be sending border crosser funds to New York after they accepted all those illegals into the city. Once he turned his back on old man Walter, all these charges came out where he may be colluding with the Turkish government and all this other stuff because he's receiving campaign donations from them and whatever. Everybody got their devices seized by the FBI and all kinds of other stuff's been going on. It's been like over a year that this has been going on. And now his team is starting to fall apart. People are dropping out, they're resigning and whatnot, trying to protect themselves from the gravitational pull that is becoming the black hole of Eric Adams because he's going down. And people are trying to get out of reach so they don't go down with him. It's coming up next, but first we're going to read through the chat, see what you hooligans think about Hurricane Milton that's coming later this week. Zero, I don't even like big thunderstorms. After I was in the tornado, I had a really hard time dealing with any kind of storm. I was hearing that wind blowing and, leaves and the trees and stuff, and it would give me terrible anxiety. But it's probably been 20 years since I've been in that situation. I've calmed down a lot, but yeah, my biggest worry is like trees falling through the houses and stuff. Where I live right now, I'm okay, but there's been, different places I've lived where there's big trees and that would be a terrible thing to experience, to have a tree fall through the house or something like that. We don't get hurricanes, but that stuff definitely happens here. Guess all kidding aside, if anyone needs to get out of hurricane path, I will make room, and the wife agrees. You're a badass, get some. I'll check it out, Russell. Thank you for letting me know. I think I found him. I'll check it out after the live, Russell. Guess smells bad in here. Taco bueno for lunch. Well, tacos do sound good today. It ain't Tuesday. Oh my God, Snooks. You need to come to my house and experience Hurricane Snooks. Holy Snooks. That's quite the invite. Russell, send Klaus down to the street corner. I mean, he needs to contribute somehow. Just being cute and fluffy ain't enough. And they can't pay the bills with that. Breeze by you, the neighbor has a big tree and we're all worried about the winds. It's no good. I don't know how much it costs to get a tree cut down. It must not be that cheap. Because, I don't know, or people aren't worried about it. I don't know. I'm kind of a worrier. Alistair, what's nuts is being in your house and the roof lifting off. It's like God reached down and opened your house like a can opener. Yeah, Alistair, that would be terrifying. That would be terrifying. Bobby, Eric Adams was at hella Diddy parties. Oh, I totally believe that. I totally believe that. Waiting for those files to come out. Paul, Michigan has its own risks, like freezing to death. Yeah. Thank God I'm built like a polar bear. I don't get cold. I don't get cold. I stay hot because of whatever's wrong with my stomach. But yeah, surviving the winter, getting through the wasteland. I try to tell people, like individuals I come across, hooligans and stuff like that. They're like, oh, I've thought about visiting Michigan. I'm like, okay, we'll do it in the 3 months that we don't have snow. Because if you've never drove in snow, you don't want to drive in snow here because it's like death. And people are like, oh, I've seen snow before, blah, blah. And then I send them like the highway stuff. Because on the freeway, every damn year, something happens. We have like a 200 car pile up and 60 people die because you can't see while you drive on the freeway. So you're going 70 blind. You can't see anything. So when there's a semi trailer across the road sideways because it jackknifed and it's all white, well, you can't see it until it's 10 feet in front of you. And at 70 miles an hour on 6 inches of ice, you're not going to stop. You're just going to can open the top of your car. And so is all 15 cars behind you. And that's how it's going to go. It's like, oh no, they're hitting their brakes. And then boom, car accident. And it doesn't stop. And those videos are terrifying. That's like a Final Destination kind of stuff. And it happens here every year. And so people are like, yeah, it's just snow. I'll drive in it. I'm like, you don't want to die like that. I've grew up here. And I don't like driving in the winter. You don't want to face it. The wasteland is hardcore. Klaus Daniels going back to his nap. What a lazy boy. Wayward. Some areas around Cincinnati were without power for 4 days after Helene. That's a long time. That's a long time. 4 days without power would suck. I imagine people get on each other's nerves probably more nowadays than before. Because everyone's used to entertaining themselves with the internet. And next thing you know, you're stuck on a hill somewhere, stranded. You're like, shut up before I throw you down the hill. I'm like, I don't know. Maybe not. I had a lot of siblings, so I just think of that kind of goofy stuff. Big Juan. The hurricane grow and shrink in size based on the temperature of the water it's over. I think that must be how they manipulate it. Biking Cat. Neighbor lady had to hold her 9-year-old daughter from the tornado, taking the kid after the roof came off in Charlie. Yeah, Biking Cat, that's crazy. What's up, Cheeky Chops? Happy freedom. Diddy blew Adam's back out. I bet they got a tape of that. Guarantee it. Breeze by you. Yeah, we were lucky to not lose lose any power because all the people around here. There were without power. So you lucked out. People around you don't have power, but you got power. I wouldn't be able to run the live without power. That's always my first thought. Anything inconvenient happens in my life, I'm like, but what about the live? Like, I don't need food. I don't need a car. I don't need shit as long as I can go live. It's my whole life. All right, we're going to move forward to this Eric Adams stuff, and we're going to run this back to back. The first one is fairly short. It's kind of in-the-moment interaction. And the second one's actually some details. So this first video is New York City Deputy Mayor Sheena Wright, Adams' right hand, is set to resign in the latest City Hall turmoil. Now, that is informative, but really has nothing to do with this video. This woman, who you can see right here in the gray sweatsuit outfit there, that's the woman that is expected to resign. They keep saying that she's going to. I haven't heard her say that, and she has not done it yet. But everybody is in expectations of this happening. Now, this specific video is a spicy little back and forth. Remember, she's like she's related to a political official, but watch her behavior. And then in the next video, it will actually be news about this woman right here. But let's get through this.
No message, no comment.
Whoa, what are you doing?
Excuse me.
What are you doing?
Excuse me.
I'm on a public sidewalk.
Yeah, but this is my privacy. Thank you.
On a private.
It's too much.
Why don't you get a comment?
Yeah, I mean, you're a public figure. We just wanted to. No, but it's harassing. It's harassing when you're following me down the street. Could you just please?
I'm on a public sidewalk. I have a press pass.
That's great. I'm glad. Well, I mean, if, we could just have a statement. I know you're trying to do your job. I'm not going to give you a statement. Okay. Right? I'm minding my business today. Is that okay? Yes. It's very aggressive, and it just feels unnecessary. I'm not going to give you a statement. Okay. All right. Thank you.
So once again, that is Eric Adams' right-hand man, Mo Man, and that's how she treats people. So apparently she has no idea on being in the public, being recorded in the public, freedom of speech. Nope. She's like, you're harassing me. I've seen some harassment. That wasn't harassment. Anyways, not only is she stupid, but she's supposed to be resigning. So the second video here is titled New York City Deputy Mayor Sheena Wright will resign, reports say.
Another resignation swirling around City Hall, this time about the first deputy mayor, Sheena Wright.
And it comes as a new poll is out today, shining a light on what New Yorkers really think about whether Mayor Adams should stay in office. Doug Williams reports.
According to published reports on Friday, First Deputy Mayor Sheena Wright, another top aide to Mayor Adams, will resign. The mayor was asked about the possibility Friday morning.
We're hearing that Sheena Wright might leave and others leaving, whether she does or not. What are your thoughts on top senior officials leaving your administration at this time?
What's important to me is those who are here, like my 4 deputy mayors, they're able to carry out their portfolio, and that's what they're doing.
Behind me is the home of the first deputy mayor she shares with her now husband, schools chancellor David Banks. The two had their phones seized in the federal investigation last month, and now it appears their days in the Adams administration are both coming to an end. Wright's resignation is not official and has not been announced. On Wednesday night, in a statement from City Hall, the mayor saying Chancellor Banks would vacate the role as chancellor on October 16th instead of at the end of the calendar year, a plan that Banks had stressed the importance of just last week, standing next to Mayor Adams.
Some of the stuff was written, Chancellor resigns, like I'm leaving tomorrow, right? No, it doesn't usually happen this way. It usually happens, somebody makes an announcement, they're out tomorrow, and good luck to the next person. I don't leave like that.
Do you have a sense if he was caught off guard by the decision?
No, I think that when I called him, I said, this is what I want to do, your handpicked successor, make sure we could have a smooth transition, and he's a professional.
A new Marist poll shows nearly 2/3 of city residents think Mayor Adams should resign. New Yorkers we spoke to were split.
If he's guilty, he should resign.
I think it should just play out. I think the process should just play out.
I think some change would be good.
It's a natural reaction for people to feel that way. Once they see both sides of the issues, you're going to hear what I've stated over and over again, that I did nothing wrong.
Well, we'll see. You hear how suspicious it is. They're like, oh yeah, they're expected to resign, but there's no official resign. There's not been any official announcement. Well, then what makes you think that that woman's going to resign? You're just saying she's going to resign, but then you also say that she hasn't said anything about that. So it's just an assumption? I don't know. I really think Eric Adams is going to go down. I don't think you could turn your back on old man Walter and survive it. I mean, I don't think he's going to get Hillaried yet, but I think he's at least going to get something. They're going to stick something on him, and I think they're going to make him step down. That's just my prediction. That's what I think is going to happen. If his staff is really jumping ship, it's because they know he's going to go. If they really thought he was going to survive it, they would not be leaving their career behind. You know, like, I mean, look at like when the vaccine mandates happened. People were like crying, trying to decide if they wanted to continue their career or walk away because of an illegal an unconstitutional mandate. And in this situation where they're living like they're living in Gotham, and Eric Adams is running the show, and his right-hand person, let alone the whole rest of his staff, is talking about jumping ship, they must really believe in their heart he's going down. Now, he's saying it ain't going to happen like that, and he's innocent, blah, blah, blah. I think they're going to give him something. He's going to step down. That's just what I think, based on the way everyone around him is reacting. So, either way, that is all the news that we had for you guys today. We are going to get into our funny videos next. The first one's titled, The Weather Guy is Having a Hard Time, and that's a pretty funny one. And then our official funny video of the day is Fight Fire with Fire, which is really funny, and it reminds me of my delivery days. Now, before we get into this, we're going to read through the chat and see what you hooligans think about Eric Adams. What's up, Drew? Happy freedom to you. I read your post here. I'm in western North Carolina, 40 miles east of Asheville. We were without power for 7 days, almost to the hour. We were some of the lucky ones. Well, I'm glad you're safe, Drew. We were actually just covering a video about Asheville. I was interviewing the mayor of Asheville. So I'm glad that you're doing all right, Drew. Russell, Mayor Eric Adams is thrown under the bus. Yeah, that's what I think is happening too. I think he's toast. Breeze by you, she appears to be a complete idiot. I think so too. She shouldn't be behaving that way as a public well, I don't know how to word it. Being connected to Eric Adams, right? She's a public, whatever they called him, not a public official because she wasn't elected. Whatever. She's a person that works for the public. She should behave as such, in my opinion. I've changed a lot about how I behave. I used to be really stern and not mean, but not real nice either. But then I started realizing that, the people at the counter might be a hooligan. And the person at the service desk could be a hooligan. The person in line with me could be a hooligan. And I'm walking around and acting like an asshole. Why? And it's just because I'm so used to being defensive. It keeps me safe to be that way. But I've tried to soften my approach when I speak. I still look very stern. But when I speak, I've softened my approach just in case it is a hooligan. Because I wouldn't want to, rub someone the wrong way. If they're an asshole, they're going to get it. But if it's a hooligan, I don't want them to be excited to see me and then I show up and I'm acting like an asshole. And so I've softened my approach. And I'm not working for the government like those people are. So they should, she should behave a little bit better instead of snatching the guy's camera and act like an asshole. A public servant. Thank you, Dust. Yeah, that's what I was talking about. Picture Dad, love ice fishing with good gear. I've done some pretty minimal ice fishing. I remember freezing my nuggets off and being scared of the ice cracking. Sitting there with a heater and like a little hut thing with a hole in the ice, just being terrified we were going to fall through. A lot of people really enjoy it though. Mary Todd, entitled Sobs. Yeah, you're right. That's why they walk around with their nose in the air. Pumpkin Rats abandoning ship. I love that. That's exactly what's happening. Cricket Kiss, they install the biggest idiots and they're easily controlled. Yeah, Cricket Kiss, and maybe that's what it is. Maybe that's why she acts ignorant the way she does. It's because she's like Democratic voters, just being duped. Cricket Kiss, entitled ignorance with a big mouth. Yep. Well, like I said, they act like they're living in Gotham. They think they're the big brutes around there. KJ, we had one huge pine tree cut down. It was $800. Holy. Well, I guess that answers my question. I guess it's not cheap to have a tree removed. I wouldn't like worrying about it every time it got windy though. Paul Haktua Harris needs to stop smoking weed. She needs to just stop in general. She needs to go sit down somewhere. That's what she needs to do, Pure Blood. Anyone else find it odd that Mayor Adams gave Diddy the key to the city, then afterwards attended a higher up mansions meeting? Pure Blood, we were already talking that Diddy was probably tapping Adams. He's probably got a couple of videos of Adams butt naked in his house. Decap, being a butthead comes with the lifestyle that we were brought up in. Those are the scars that we carry. It's up to us to drop down the wall. I'm just saying, brother, be happy with yourself. Yeah, Decap. Well, and that's the thing, is I had to realize the way I was behaving and then correct it because it serves purpose. It could be helpful to others and stuff instead of tearing other people down. I kind of just had an interaction with kind of like that earlier today. I was at Wesco getting coffee when I was coming back with the poor Subaru. And there was a guy who was like struggling in the coffee area. And that's my place. I go into Wesco all the damn time. Like 3 or 4 times a day I go into Wesco. And he was just struggling. I was like, hey, you need a drink carrier? And he's like, oh, I got it. And I was like, all right. And I sat there and watched him struggle for a little bit. And then he kind of looked over at me and I was like, you need this, bud? And he was like, yeah. And I was like, all right, lids are over here, straws are over there. And by the end of it, like we were all joking and laughing and stuff. But he looked like he was having a shit time. And I just came back from the auto shop where they don't have answers for my car. We weren't having good days. But I made sure to turn it around and he left with a smile and I felt better when I left. And well, that's part of purposely not being an asshole. What's up, Pag? Happy freedom. Biking Cat, anyone that can make good coffee after the power has been out for a few days is the most popular person in the neighborhood. That and the guy that's got the bag of weed. Just saying. Modern problems require modern solutions. Mm-hmm. Patriot Operator. Ashton Kutcher is pretty afraid of what Diddy's going to say. Is Ashton Kutcher and Diddy buddies? I haven't seen Ashton Kutcher in a decade. Maybe more than that. Not that I know him personally. Last time I seen him, he was doing Punk'd. And that was like still a thing. It might be more than 10 years now that I'm thinking about it. I didn't know they were connected though. Snooks, you're a good man. Own it. Well, I try, Snooks. I try. I get spicy though. Alright, hooligans, we're going to get into our funny videos of the day here. Now, before we do, I want to give you guys this last reminder. If you would like to support the live to keep us running, you're welcome to use that Linktree link in the description in order to make donations. And you can do that by using PayPal, Cash App, Stripe, Locals, Buy Me a Coffee, or you can even send crypto. Alright, getting into our first funny video of the day. This is going to make people laugh. I mean, that's the point, right? Let's get it pulled up.
What in the Florida?
This video smoked me. I think I probably watched it 2 or 3 times. Alright, so this first one is titled, "The Weather Guy is Having a Hard Time."
What in the Florida? Weatherman loses it on the air.
Set to make landfall tonight in Florida and the Tampa area. And guys, it's not looking good. 105-mile-per-hour winds. And look at the name of the hurricane, Helene. Coincidentally, that's my ex-wife's name. Our divorce was finalized this week, and if this thing is anything like her, it's going to take your car, it's going to take your house, it's going to ruin your damn life. All right, probably blow the neighbors too, but I digress. But anyway, guys, I'm sorry to put my air out on the air, but it's been a rough week. And guess what? If you're in this area, right here, the Tampa area, you're going to have a rough week as well. Okay, and by the way, another coincidence, her mom and dad, Helene's mom and dad are from Tampa. So, hey, John, Marge, you're going to feel it too. You're going to feel the wrath of Helene like I have for the past 4 years. It's going to be aggressive. And you know what? Maybe, just maybe, if we're lucky, this thing is going to catch some of the illegals that the Biden-Harris administration let in and fling these Mexicans back into Mexico, right? You want to talk about deportation? That'd be the best way to do it.
You guys going off. I love that. And, you know, it's not to downplay what happened with the Hurricane Helene victims. Don't be all like that. Fucking cracks me up. That had me dying. So we're going to get into our official funny video of the day. And then, like I said, this reminds me of when I was delivering pizza for 6 years. This one is titled, "Fight Fire with Fire."
Tá frio, papai! Eu vou correr atrás de vocês! Oh, é bravinho! Eu vou te morder, seu cachorrinho!
Yes! I used to have to go through that shit all the time when I was a delivery driver. Hated it. Fucking hated it. I don't know. That is fucking hilarious. Alright, hooligans, that is all the coffee I had for you guys today. And it has been a long one. I'm going to drop this Linktree link to all of you guys. Then we will be reading through the chat, doing the Pledge of Allegiance, and wrapping things up. Oh, well, you know, now that I'm looking at things, President Trump is supposed to be speaking in 3 minutes. Actually, I don't know that he's speaking. He's supposed to be attending an event.
A little.
And I wasn't sure if I was going to cover it. But since we're only 3 minutes away from it, I guess we'll just go ahead and tune in and see what's going on. But that's not going to stop me from dropping the Linktree link. So we're going to worry about that right now. And we'll get on to the Trump stuff. And I got it pulled up. So if he just happens to appear in front of us like Santa Claus, I will go ahead and put it on the screen. But until then, here's the Linktree link where all of my links are listed. So if you would like to make donations, join membership programs, or purchase any merch, I would really appreciate it. All of your guys' contributions keep us running every day except for Sunday, because got to have a day to recharge those batteries. Definitely go join Discord. Discord is our free hooligan community. It's the best way to be notified every single time we go live. The hooligans are there keeping the conversation going 24/7, and we have 2 news boards to keep you up to date with everything going on around the world. So definitely go join Discord. If you're feeling real saucy, go join jeffmaclive.com. Over on the website, it is the best way to experience a live. Our built-in chat has more ability than any other platform. You can post memes and GIFs and custom emojis, links, and all kinds of stuff right there while you're watching the live. It is quite the experience. I think being able to post GIFs in the chat really improves the experience of being in a live chat. I can't believe other platforms don't do it. Can't believe we're the first to do it. You'll also have access to Hooligans Alley, which is our built-in private social media area. You'll have access to our forums, which is to encourage open discussion. You'll have access to our arcade that has a ton of games that do adapt to your phone, so they're not clunky. It's a lot of fun to play. And then you'll also have access to our advanced messaging system that has all the built-in group chats. Gives you the ability to text each other, call each other, video call each other, group texting, group calling, group video calling, and more. I'm constantly working on the website, making it the place to be. So definitely go get yourself a membership for jeffmaclive.com. It's the home of the hooligans. So I'm going to show you guys what we're looking at right here. See, now President Trump's not expected for another 30 minutes. Well, we're not going to stretch it out for that. We've already had a long day. Now, I will tell you about this, and we'll decide if we're going to go live or not. I would like to eat today. What we're just looking at is titled President Trump Participates in an October 7th Remembrance Event. It doesn't normally, it says he's speaking, and well, I guess on the screen it says expected to speak at 6:30. I'm figuring this out in real time. We're going to wrap up this live, but I think we'll end up going live again with President Trump, and that way it'll give me the opportunity to reset my internet and all of that, and hopefully we'll get rid of these hiccups we've been having today. It'll be fine for the replay, but for all of us that are here live, I know it's been kind of frustrating dealing with that. So I think we will cover President Trump in 30 minutes. We'll do it as a separate live from this. I'll try and get all the internet stuff situated, and that way we won't have any hiccups while he's speaking. And I think I might even have time to run down the street and get some food. So I think it's going to work out. Either way, we're going to read through the chat really quick, see what you hooligans thought about today's coffee. We are going to do the Pledge of Allegiance, and we'll be wrapping things up. What are you saying, Snooks? I feel like that's breaking my dyslexia. I do, Snooks. I want to eat something. Thank you, Breeze by You. Appreciate you being here. Russell Madman chasing dogs. Yeah, you gotta show the dog who the bigger dog is, you know? I was not that nice about it. Now that I see that, I kind of feel bad. Because when I used to take deliveries and I'd be carrying the pizza bag and stuff, the dogs would come attack me. I don't know why people don't put their damn dogs up. But the dogs would attack me, so I'm like slapping them with the pizza boxes and stuff. Then I deliver the pizza. Then 20 minutes later, they call the store. And they're like, hey, my pizza's all disheveled and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, it was used as a weapon against your dogs. And then after they got mad at that, the store started telling me, hey, you can't use the pizza bag or the boxes as a weapon against dogs. So when I would drive by the house and I would see people's dogs out there and they're chasing my car and stuff, I'd do a U-turn legally. I'd do a legal U-turn, 3-point turn out of a driveway, and I'd come back. And as the dogs are running up, I just swing that door open, take that dog right out. And then I walk up to the door and they're like, hey, you see my dog? I'm like, nah, here's your pizza though. And then I don't know if their dog went back home or died in the woods or what, but put your fucking dogs up if you order pizza, because somebody like me might come along and we don't care about that shit. So anyways, I wish I was a little bit nicer about it now that I've seen there's a better way to handle it, but that's okay. Those years are behind me. Anyways. Oh, Picture Dad, quiche is almost done. I thought it said Quincy at first. It said Quincy's almost done. And I was like, excuse me, sir? What are you saying? Almost there. What's up, Information Warlord? Happy freedom to you. DK, Rest Broadcasting. Yeah. We'll get it figured out. We'll cover it. I was all up in the air about it. I wasn't sure if we were going to actually see a rally or not. Dust, was that Klaus on a motorcycle? It could have been. It's incriminating, so I can't say for sure, but it could have been the Klaus Daniels. Peyton, our pit attacks four-wheelers, motorcycles, and brooms. Yeah, see, it's rough stuff. Alistair, stay safe out there, my fellow Floridian hooligans. Absolutely. Absolutely. I hope that hurricane just blows right over. What's up, Captain Nick? Happy freedom. What's up, Crazy Times? Thank you, Biking Cat. Appreciate you being here. Awesome, Mike. Thank you for letting me know. I will keep my eyes out for it, and I will show it off on the live once I get it. I appreciate you. Breeze by you. Who wants some beef stew? Love beef stew. Or are you saying something else? You saying something else? You trying to be funny? All right, hooligans. It's that time once again. Like I said, we're going to wrap this up, but we'll be live again in about a half hour with President Trump, so don't you worry. All right, hooligans, please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation. Wait a minute. I fucked that all up. For which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Well, that's what I get for trying to read while I'm doing the Pledge of Allegiance. Getting too far ahead of myself. Either way, we'll get another redo here in a little bit when we're covering President Trump. Let me put this back on the screen here. So it's expected at 6:30, which means he probably won't be on stage till like 6:45. Which will give me enough time to do everything. So like I said, I'm going to reset the internet. I'm going to do a full reset. So hopefully we don't have the internet hiccups that we've been having all day. Says we've dropped 1,000, 1,500 frames or something. And it happened to be only 3% of the live, but you guys don't care about that. Anyways, we're going to read through the chat one last time just to make sure no hooligans are left behind. We're wrapping this up. I'm going to get food. I'm coming back and we're watching the Orange Eagle. It's going to be a great time, so I better see you right here. Snooks, the quickies almost done. That's what I thought it said at first. I was like, holy. Hey, thank you, Patriot Dad. Appreciate you being here. Thank you, Rappy. Ghostly have had some pits that act like babies, St. Bernards, and Great Pyrenees. Most dogs have been 100 pounds. Yeah, Ghostly, I've seen a few Great Pyrenees. A lot of people around here have them. Big bear dogs. Thank you, Pumpkin. Appreciate you being here. Thank you, D-Cat. Thank you, MU. Yeah, Bobby, I'm going to get some food. I don't know. I kind of want tacos, but I kind of want steak and vegetables. I can get steak for like $4. Just because they do the butchery stuff in-house. So I can get it cheap. Real cheap. Patriot operator had two very friendly pits, but people would cross the street to avoid them. Yeah. Well, the dogs that I was dealing with as a delivery driver, these were repeat offenders. These weren't like just stray dogs and I was just going after them. These were dogs that had been tearing us up from people who ordered pizza every damn day, and they're setting us up to be victimized, and enough was enough at a certain point. A delivery driver can only take so much. Anyways, like I said, we're going to be wrapping this up. We'll be live again very shortly. Hopefully no internet problems. Trying to think. Get yourself some snacks because President Trump's coming up. Huge shout out to everyone that made donations, joined the membership programs, or purchased any merch. I really appreciate all of you hooligans, and I wouldn't be able to do any of this if it wasn't for you. So thank you so much for all your support, and I'll see you on the next live. Until then, stand tall, shine bright, and that's a wrap.